you guys, and welcome to another episode. Today, for you, I'm going to be giving you a tour of the gentleman's bedroom, the Old Ireland room, and I'm also going to be making for you a little bit later a delicious Irish tea brack. So tea bread or tea brack, but it's basically a light fruit cake with spread with a lot of Kerrygold butter on the top and a lovely, lovely hot cup of tea. So come on, let's take a peek inside. Okay, you guys, so before I start showing you any of the artifacts in this room, let me tell you a little bit about this room and about how it came to have the color, etc. So when we first bought the house and we moved in, this was the butler's bedroom, and he used to sleep here, and it was called the Old Ireland room because it had layers and layers and layers of newspaper, old Irish newspapers on the wall. And so we were not too fond of that idea. So we decided we needed to bring it back. So as we scraped away the layers and layers of newspaper, we found this beautiful green color underneath. So we decided that we'd go with the green. And so this is the beautiful green that you see now. Okay, so I'll start with the bed. The bed is an original bed. It wasn't here, but we purchased it from an antique shop in West Sligo many years ago, and it's got the original horsehair mattress, which, believe me, is extremely comfortable. And very often when Chris is not here, I'll come and spend the night in this room because I really love this room and I love how comfortable the bed is. Not big enough for two people quite, two very small people maybe, but it really, really is a very special bed. The tapestry cover, which is over the top, I found for sale in an old castle here in Ireland, and so I purchased it. I thought it would be perfect for the Old Ireland room. And I'll also show you some beautiful cushions with the coat of arms that I purchased from an antique shop in Northern Ireland. And I think they're really, really special in that beautiful cobalt blue with the lovely crest coat of arms and the very, very fine gold thread. Beautifully made, stunning velvet cushions. Okay, so the curtains on the window are a beautiful blue velvet. They are original Victorian cotton velvet, nothing like cotton velvet, and they've got a beautiful trim detailing here 3/4 of the way down, which is really lovely. They do have some sun fade, but actually, you know, I quite like that. It adds to the authenticity of the curtain and the fabric itself, because of course they've been hanging on windows for many, many years. They are going to end up with sun fade. We have a lovely little nursing chair here, and the idea of the nursing chair was that the mother would sit on the chair and then the baby would sit next to her and she would be able to nurse from that height. And so another beautiful blue velvet cushion with another emblem, which I had a bit of a disaster because I actually took the cushion cover off, I don't know why, and I decided to put it in the washing machine. Hence, Chris wasn't very happy with me. I did deny it, but I got caught out later. Over a glass of wine or two, I confessed. However, moral of the story, don't confess anything over a glass or two of wine, because you'll never hear the end of it. And of course, a gentleman could always sit on the nursing chair, which I used to very often do, smoke my cigar, have a glass of sherry, and just sit and enjoy. So behind me here, we have this wonderful gentleman. He always reminds me of the captain of the film Titanic, and that's why I quite liked this painting. I also liked the frame very much, and I remember buying it a long time ago in Suffolk in an antique. Let me tell you about my bookcases. So downstairs in the library, we called it the library, but we never had any books. So we needed to sort something out there. We couldn't fit a freestanding bookshelf anywhere because the library is quite tight. So I decided that we had an alcove, but it was very uneven, all different widths, all different sizes. So I set about downstairs making the bookshelves, and then I mirrored them upstairs as best I could. And I did this by putting some brackets on the wall. I bought some nice pieces of wood, and I bought this beautiful Celtic fabric, which in the lovely green and gold, and I lined the shelves with that and just filled it with lovely antiquarian books and some really nice artifacts as well. Okay, so the fireplace is the original fireplace of the house. It is a working fireplace. It does work. I did light it going back many years ago when we had the problem with the radiators exploding, but that's a story for another day. And I had every fireplace in the house lit. So every room in this house has a fireplace. All original, never been removed, and all in working order. Probably needs the chimney cleaning in case we've got some birds which have decided to nest up there. Some old riding boots which used to belong to me once upon a time, as I did used to do quite a bit of horse riding in my younger days, believe it or not. And I think I was quite good at it also. And I'm going to show you my most recent purchase, or should I say Chris's most recent purchase, because he bought them, is the beautiful Cavalier King Charles dogs. And we used to have one of these dogs ourselves called Bertie B. And that's a funny story, actually. I'd like to tell you a little bit about where the name Bertie B came from. As you know, we are hairdressers, and Chris used to do, a very, very long time ago, a gentleman called, everybody would know him, John McCririck. And he used to be a sports commentator. And he was the man with the really, Chris will kill me for telling you this story because he had dreadful hair, the really long sideburns. And of course, you were never allowed to touch them. But he used to come to a salon in Mayfair to get his hair cut where Chris worked. And he used to bring his wife along. And I think she was called BB. Is that right, Chris?
No, she had a dog, Bertie.
Yeah, but was his wife called BB?
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo. His wife was called Boo-boo, and she had a dog called Bertie B. So when we got our Cavalier King Charles, he was a Cavalier King Charles, so when we got our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, we called him Bertie B. Unfortunately, he's gone over the Rainbow Bridge now. He did spend 15 long years with us, and they were wonderful years, and we loved him to bits. He was adorable. And so that's the story about Bertie B. So here is our little dogs to remind us of our Bertie B. Here we have a beautiful horse painting in a magnificent frame, and this is by a very famous horse painter called J.F. Herring. And I think you'll agree it's really quite fabulous of a horse in the stable. Okay, here we have a wonderful Gothic glass-doored cabinet, which is full of lots of little personalised artefacts, and there is so much to see in this room that we couldn't possibly show it all in one video. So we will leave little sections to show maybe at a later date. But yes, so it's basically just our collection. Here we've got some Irish harp buttons, would have been from the time of the 1916 Rising. We've got some lovely medals. We've got some beautiful artifacts here, which we can pinpoint and pick out little individual pieces to show you at a later date. But the glass cabinet, I keep threatening Chris because I keep saying I'm very short of wardrobe space. There's not enough wardrobes in this house for me. So I keep saying maybe we could dispose of this and put a nice wardrobe in its place for me. And Chris goes, I think you just need to dispose of some of his clothes. Anyway, that's for another day. We're not going there. Sure we're not, Chris. Not today. So, guys, that concludes our tour of the Old Ireland room. Come downstairs now. I'm going to change out of this attire because I don't think it's quite suited for the kitchen. I'm going to be sent back to slavery now, and I'm going to be put as one of the servants in the kitchen to make you that delicious Irish tea, Brack. And please do make it because it is really beautiful and very simple to make. So come join me in the kitchen. So you guys, and now for that beautiful traditional Irish tea, Brack. Normally associated with this time of year around Halloween and into early Christmas because it's that lovely lighter fruit cake as opposed to the very heavy Christmas cake. My mum used to make this, and we used to, as children, we used to put a little piece of ring, a fake gold ring in, and it was always tradition around Halloween, whoever got the ring was the next person who was going to get married. Took me a long time to find the ring, I'd say, but anyway, that's the way it works. So let's crack on. In this bowl, I have got 350 grams of fruit. You can make this cake easy peasy. You choose what fruit you want. I have got 100 grams of currants, 100 grams of sultanas, 100 grams of raisins, and then I've got 30 grams of cherries and 20 grams of mixed peel, chopped small. That's what I've got in this bowl. I've also got in here 1 cup of strong, cold Irish tea. But you can use whatever tea you like. You can use a flavour tea if you like Earl Grey, or you can use a herbal tea, whatever you like. Or you can put some whiskey in there. I'm going to refrain from the whiskey today because we put a lot of brandy in the cookies the last day. So, also in here is 250 grams of margarine, So like a baking spread, I suppose it's called in the United States, but here we call it margarine. I wouldn't use butter for this recipe. It's far too rich and heavy and makes for a more dense cake. You want it to be lighter with the fruit, so I would use a margarine or a vegetable spread. Now, what I've done with that is I've stuck it in the microwave for 4 minutes and I've allowed the butter to melt and the tea to absorb into the fruit, and then you let it cool down in your bowl. Okay, so that's all cooled in my bowl, and if you want to come and have a look, you can see. And the fruit has plumped up nicely with that cold tea and the margarine. And already it smells lovely, and it doesn't even have anything in it yet. Okay, into that I'm going to put 1 cup of sugar straight in and give it a stir. This is definitely a cake that people are going to be really wowed by because it looks amazing and it takes not even 5 minutes to make. So I'm going to get on with it. So now you put your sugar in, okay? Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of mixed spice, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And they're all going to go in on top of our flour. Okay, and we're just going to stir that in a little bit to our flour, and then we're just going to put all that flour mixture in here also. Okay, straight in and give it a stir. So you just want to incorporate all that flour, and then the last thing you're going to do into this is you're going to add your 2 eggs. Okay, and you can see that's nice and light in color. It will go slightly darker once it's cooked in the oven. You can now at this stage preheat your oven to 180 Celsius, 350 fan or gas mark 4. Okay, so remember what we said before about the egg situation? So crack your egg into a cup or a glass or something or a little bowl and just check that it's okay, and then you can pop it straight in to your mix. But please don't do it because you waste all that fruit and lovely goodness in there if you've got a bad egg. Okay, and they both look absolutely fine. So in they go. And then you're just going to incorporate your eggs into your mix. And then we're going to pop it into our tray. And it's literally a 2-pound loaf tin, and I've lined it with 1 strip of greaseproof paper. That is it. There is enough margarine in this recipe to make sure that it doesn't stick. Obviously, it's a non-stick baking pan. If you've got one that tends to stick, then you could spray it lightly with some spray, or you could put a little bit of the margarine from the wrapper that you've just opened and spread it, and a dusting of flour. You know how to do your tins at this stage with me. And that is it, my friends. And trust me, this Irish tea brack served with a lovely piece of Kerrygold butter over the top, with a warming, nice hot cup of tea. On a winter's day, there is nothing more comforting, and it is sheer luxury without paying the price of sheer luxury. By that I mean the Christmas cake, which is much richer and full of butter and icing and almond paste and all of that. Okay, straight into your tin. And you must lick this bowl as well, because it's really tasty. That's now going into your preheated oven for 1 hour. You can check it after 45 minutes, but it really, because of the quantity of fruit, it does need 1 hour. Maybe even 1 hour, 10 minutes, but you can check it. And you know to check it by sticking the skewer in. If it comes out clean, it's cooked. If it comes out with sticky bits around it, then it's not cooked. Another 10 minutes or so. So, into the oven it goes. And we'll enjoy that later with a lovely cup of tea. Okay, you guys, the cake is out of the oven. It's had 1 hour, 15 minutes. And I'm just going to check it. And yes, it's come out nice and clean. The skewer has come out nice and clean. So it's cooked. Now, what I've done, just to give this a nice glaze, a nice shine over the top, I have melted 1 large tablespoon of orange marmalade. You can use apricot jam or orange marmalade in the microwave. So it's nice and hot. And I'm going to literally glaze the top of the cake with that. And it just acts as a lovely sealer. Because it's a fruit cake, you're not going to eat it all straight away, unless you're like me and my family, where we can eat it within hours of being baked. So you can see that's just giving the cake a really delicious shine and glaze. And it just makes it all the more appetizing and appealing. Be nice and generous with your marmalade. It doesn't hurt. Like I said, it will help to stop the air from getting to it and making it go stale quite quickly on you if you're going to keep it for a few days. Now, and it will last for a week. This is a fruit cake, so it will last for a week. Okay, so that's our glaze done. We'll just get out the rest of that lovely, delicious marmalade. Pop that on there. And we're going to leave that in the tin now for about 15 minutes just to cool slightly, gather itself together, and then we'll run a knife around the edge and we'll unmold it. And then we're going to have it with some Kerrygold butter slapped and smothered all over the top and a lovely cup of tea. So now, my friends, Scooter and I would like to read you a poem by William Butler Yeats, as Scooter wants to sit, relax on the old Ireland room bed and chill out for a little while. Poem entitled, I Am of Ireland. I am of Ireland and the holy land of Ireland. And time runs on, cried she. Come out of charity, come dance with me in Ireland. One man alone, in that outlandish gear, one solitary man, all of that rambled there, had turned his stately head, that is a long way off, and time runs on, he said, and the right grows rough. I am of Ireland and the holy land of Ireland, and time runs on, cried she. Come out of charity and dance with me in Ireland. The fiddlers are all thumbs, or the fiddle string accursed, the drums and the kettle drums, and the trumpets are all bust. And the trombone, cried he, the trombone and crooked a ridiculous eye, but time's, oh time runs on. Now for the best part, the beautiful Kerrygold over the top. And don't be stingy with the Kerrygold. So folks, I hope you enjoyed baking this cake with me and my little tour of the old Ireland room and our poem by W.B. Yeats. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Scooter's come for cake, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye.